Well, colleagues, uh, the topic is, of course, the nature-based water solutions. Next slide. In fact, all of us are aware about the very famous Maslow's hierarchy of needs. And when you look at our growth of perception on water also has really followed the same uh, theory. We started with the basic needs of roti kapra makan immediately after independence during the Nehru Gandhi era. A lot of emphasis was on the dam construction and the water resources infrastructure part was there. And after that, we moved on to Bijli Sarak Pani. That's also water availability, roads and other part also is gone. Next one, we went for Avarilta, Nirmalta and Swasthta. The continuous flow, the cleanliness of the ghats, those are the focus of the government in the water sector. Then we moved on to Jal Shakti Abhiyan, integrated approach, and recently Jal Jeevan Mission also has come in a big way, providing water to every household. That has come in a big way in our government policies. And now the future which our Honorable Prime Minister is talking about, Ambedkar, that we have to focus on environment, efficient, river rejuvenation, sustainability and Atmanirbharta. And actually the nature-based solution belongs to this era, which we are ushering into, the Amrit Kal. Next slide. So we are entering into Amrit Kal as in the 15th August, our Prime Minister has already announced it. And so we have to focus more on the nature-based solution, using the natural process itself for giving us the solution of the challenges which we have. Some of the challenges my colleague Bhopal has already introduced it. We will be taking more and more challenges are there. So we have to use the nature-based solution itself so that not much ill effects are there. It's always better to get along with the nature, because if we go opposite to the nature will not let us continue, and we will have the nature-based disasters also. In fact, you must be knowing about, there was a 2018 year when the World Water Day was celebrated with this theme, nature for water. And that is more of a relevance on that. So, there are very natural process which we are go through, like the vegetation cover is there, which reduces the damage caused by the heavy rain. The wetlands hold water, acts like a temporary reserve, and when the flood wave goes, then the wetland gives the groundwater recharge also. The floodplain also absorbs a lot of flood water. So there are many natural-based process which we are using on a pilot basis, and there is a need for mainstreaming, accelerating, and scaling up. And that is the theme of this year's, accelerating the change, and that is the required. And in that context, this topic for this World Water Summit is very important, because we have to bring the acceleration in this success stories. Next slides. Now I'm coming to the specific challenges. As I've said, some of the challenges has already been introduced by my colleague Bhopal. And now I will be coming on what kind of nature-based solution could be for those challenges which our country is facing. The first, of course, is the challenges of a high temporal and spatial variability. As Bhopal has rightly said, in the overall lump sum basis, we have adequate water. But when we go into the micro detailing, we see the variations is too much. And it's so skewed availability is there, and that is the real challenge the water resources managers of the country face it. If you are aware that as far as the spatial is there, in Rajasthan we are having less than 10 mm, and on the Cherrapunji northeast side we have got around 1.5 meter of rainfall. This is very high. And most of these rainfalls also are accumulated 75% during monsoon days only. We have seen it recently, even Delhi also, we had such a heavy rainfall and the entire city got flooded. So entire total quantum is there, but the availability is so skewed in terms of time and space that real utilizable flow becomes very difficult, and that is the real challenge. And for that, we have to use the nature-based solution. The one, of course, we started with like water storage. That is the first solution which we can think, because if we store the water, even at our household also, the water supply may not be throughout 24 hours, but for our normal daily use, we use a water tank, maybe above the roof or underground. But we do have the water storage, and that is required at the basin level also, and the country level also. We started with something around 17 BCM of the storage after independence. We have reached to the level of 258 BCM, and what is assessed that we can go up to 450 BCM. This is based on the preliminary studies done by the National Commission of Integrated Water Resources Development. So that is the first step which we should do about the increasing our water storage. And for that, our Prime Minister has rightly announced the mission Amrit Sarovar, developing all tanks in the river, districts of the country, so that we develop small reservoirs. Now those tanks may have around 10 million cubic meter of water, but when it comes to the number all over the country, it will become a sizable quantity, and that will increase a good storage amount. And it will not have, because these are distributed tanks, so it will not have much environment and RR issues, as has been rightly pointed out. So this is a first focus. Mission Amrit Sarovar is already there. In fact, right now I am posted in Hyderabad. South India, we have got majority of the water resources as irrigation are based on the tank base, and that is the solution already in practice in our country, and that is we have to upscale it all over the country. The next is, of course, repair, renovation and restoration. So whatever the tanks are there, many of the natural tanks have degenerated in a very bad shape, and there is a need for repairing them, renovating them and restoring that. In Telangana, where I am posted right now, the Mission Kakatiya is already there, and which has been a great success in rejuvenating as much as around 48,000 tanks, and that has really transformed Telangana. Incidentally, when I was young, as an executive engineer, I was posted in that region, and I used to see that region is almost like a drought kind of a scenario. The entire district, Khammam, Mahbubnagar, and all districts were like a desert. Now when I am seeing that, the same area is full of greenery, and that really gives me a lot of that. The efforts which we water resources managers have made over the last 30 years has really showing on the ground, and that is what is there. So, and there's another aspect, because new reservoirs are not becoming, so easily done because of the environment and R&R issues. So we should try to utilize the available storage sites also. So whatever the storage is there, now the dam safety has come, so the dam safety issues can be taken care of. So if we review those, and probably operating kind of concept is there in hydropower sectors and industries also. With the same infrastructure, if we can get more storage, operate those things. So those kind of review of the measures, these are all solutions which doesn't involve much interference with the nature. It can gel with the nature, and this can be taken up for taking up the first challenge of high spatial and temporal stability. The next challenge is, the per capita water availability, which has been there naturally with the population growth. The per capita availability has reduced a lot, and so there is a need for augmenting our storage, because once the storage is increased, then only the availability can be increased one. So there is one need, and there is another point which is very important. If we get around 4,000 billion cubic meter of water, around with the 1100 rainfall, the area we get around 4,000, but only 2,000 is about utilizable, which is a very, the efficiency at source itself is very less, almost 50% only. So we need to make it more of focus on the storage availability, so that utilizable flow increases and this per capita water availability can be increased. In fact, I would just like to bring a national water policy also of 2012 states that we need to increase the water storage in varied form. It's not only that large reservoir is the only solution, no. That may give us the benefit of economies of scale, but we have to focus on small and medium reservoirs also, ponds also, including groundwater also. And that's why aquifer mapping has been taken up, that how much water is available in the groundwater, so that we can pull together all the resources and can increase the water availability. Next. In fact, when we are working with the states and the field, we realize that there is a very low consciousness of water, about the value of the water. And that is the real challenge is there, because people are not considering the importance of the water. They are considering that it is a nature's gift. I mean, the people take it so casually in the field, if you see, even at household or everywhere. And that is the real challenge. Probably, I mean, we will now focus after Swachhta, another part. After giving the water to every household, we will focus, the government will focus on this thing to apprise or sensitize the citizen of the country about the value of the water. And value of the water is required. It is a nature's gift, but it is and people think that it is a nature's gift, is a public good. So no need for any economic value of it. It's no value, we can waste around. But that is not the case. It is an economic resource. It is a vital economic resource. In fact, our civilizations have grown on the river banks. That is because that is the resource for which the whole civilization depends. Even present scenario also, most of the states fight amongst each other, not because water is important only. It is an economic resource. That's why they fight for it. Because everybody wants to have the economic resource under their control. The industrialization, the population growth, lot of things depends on, even the well-being of the society depends on the water. And that's why people fight. So there is a need for sensitizing the people and appreciating about the water's economic value. And for that, we don't need to increase the price per se. Of course, that is most of the capitalist country are advocating it. Even Australia also, the pricing is one part. But I feel that before we go for the pricing concept, which is slightly ahead, and ultimately it will come, but let us start with the economic packaging of that, because that is very important. Technology is driven by the economics. So if we bring the economics into the water resources management, certainly the technology will come up and automatically the water conservation and everything will follow in line. And a few examples I have given here, like we are talking of the plastic waste. Now if you repackage the water prices itself, like if the price of the bottle is 20 rupees, you make it 25 rupees, and when a person returns the 5 rupees, immediately all the bottles will come back, and that can be recycled. It will be a good economy, I mean circular economy it can be. So that is one economic packaging which can be done about the water bottle. Another thing is that irrigation also. In fact, almost all the states have got the irrigation virtually free. It's agreed because we have to give support to the farmers. But if we put it the same thing in a different manner, it can be priced and the minimum support price can be increased. We made an attempt in Madhya Pradesh where the water pricing was increased and MSP got subsidy. I mean, in addition to central MSP, the state government gave some support price on that. And that has seen, the Madhya Pradesh, as you see, I mean, I have seen in the last 5-6 years, from 5 million hectares of the irrigation, it has gone to 35 or 40. And that is now the present government is taking too much credit on that basis only. So a small tweaking of the policies will go a long way in realizing the value of the water. So what we are advocating within the government, because I am part of the government, so I am advocating within the government also, that we make the people subsidized, but we price it adequately so that there is a sense of realization that this is water is worth this much, we are utilizing it, and then we can provide the subsidy on that way. So domestic consumption or industrial also, the individuals may be subsidized, but the water should be priced. That kind of will give a solution and it will appreciate, everyone will get appreciated about the water. In fact, one solution which was taught that what is to incentivize the states to follow for interbasin transfers and other things. I have my personal experience. I was in charge of the Narmada Control Authority and there was a drought and the Gujarat needed very desperately the water. Madhya Pradesh had the water allocation entitled to them, but they were not in a position to utilize it. And I really brokered a deal between the interstate deal that Gujarat will utilize their share and will give the money in turn, which money as a resource, as I have said that water is an economic resource. So if we put the water as an economic resource in the hands of the government, The government will use it for other welfare schemes and other things. And I tried it in 2018, this has worked. In 2012, when that same drought condition in Gujarat came, you must have heard about water train coming up. But in 2018, drought water train and other things did not come. The trading came, and in that way, the Madhya Pradesh traded their water share with Gujarat, got the money, something around 800, 900 crore they got the money. Maharashtra, they could not needed much water. So they said, okay, fine, I don't need water and money. I'm rich myself, but I need power. They need power that way. So the Gujarat had got solar power and wind power. So the trading was done in terms of power. So whatever water is there, economic value of the water power equivalent was worked out, and that much power the Gujarat paid for. So water trading at kind of good old days bar trading was attempted, and it has been a successful in Narmada Karpat, and it has, and as a result of which all the three states agreed for it. When I brokered this thing and negotiated with the state, they realized that look, water is available, but I am not able to make use of it. Why not give it and get the money in turn or power in turn, or maybe keep it as a reserve for some time future. This is what has been brokered. So this could be a kind of innovative solution which can be thought of in a case-to-case basis. And this kind of whatever the problem we are facing on interbasin transfer, because it is a resource, it is a natural resource, we should put to optimum use. If one particular state for some reason cannot put to use, then let the other state use it, and the other state gets the money in return or the other economic benefit in turns, part of it. That kind of solution is possible. The next. In fact, nowadays this is, as I have told, that efficiency is also another challenge. Our efficiency level in water resources utilization is very, very low. We are conscious of it. I think our irrigation sector is only 35% or so. Even the domestic also, which is mostly piped, the NRW is almost as high as 50%. And that looks such an important resource. We are wasting like that, which is certainly not acceptable to us. So the government is very conscious of this low efficiency level. And about a decade ago, the National Water Mission was launched. And one of the key goal was that to increase the water use efficiency by 20%. You know, water somehow the things move by decade terms, decennial terms. Sardar Sarovar project took 65 years. Polavaram is still in the pipeline only. Even this National Water Mission also came up in 2012. But still now it has started showing. After about 10 years, the National Bureau of Water Use Efficiency has been set up now, and the task force has been really set up for the increasing the water. The report has come now, and we are deliberating with the government. Try to, this is there. I'm just concluding that part. So the irrigation is a major sector. It utilizes around 80% at a very low rate. Certainly cannot be accepted to continue like that. So we focused on that, how to make the irrigation more water efficient. Next. After discussion with the states and other thing, this is the same one. Next. Yeah, this is there. We have realized that the tertiary level, where that the farm level, the maximum wastage is there. So after going into micro analysis of most of the irrigation projects we have gone through, we realize that the tertiary level, at the distribution level, at the farm level, the efficiency is very low. At the headworks, we are by and large, though not up to the mark, but we are by and large not very bad. But at the farm level, it is something like a black hole. The water goes on giving it to the farm, the result doesn't come up. So we thought that first we should capture the low-hanging fruit. So we go for the pressurized irrigation distribution network at the distribution level. Already a scheme is being proposed in the interministerial consultation, Pradhan Mantri Unnat Krishi Sinchai Yojana, which is already there. And there we are thinking that to convert the tertiary level distribution to pipe distribution network. And that will, I just give you a picture also. Around our present irrigation use is around 650 BCM. Saving will be coming quickly by this process, will be at around 100 BCM. 30 and 40 BCM can go for additional irrigation. We have a utilizable irrigated area is around 140. We are at 120. So that additional saving can go for the 30, 40 BCM can go for the additional irrigated area. and domestic and industrial need, which is expected to increase with the growth of our country, 5 trillion economy. So for that 30-40 BCM can go for that. And the return to environment is also will be coming 20 to 40. So this one effort will give us majority of the benefit, and that is what we have been able to put across the government, and government is very receptive of it. We have briefed our minister, and now we are in the interministerial consultation, and shortly I think you will see we will approach the cabinet and approve this thing. Irrigation sector, tertiary level, converting that from the traditional conveyance system to pipe distribution irrigation network, save about 100 BCM, and which will be a kind of solving all our majority of the water woes. Next. So this is about that urban flooding also, because recently we had the Delhi flood. So I've just touched upon that also. There also it is required. The conventional solution is of course interbasin transfer, which we are working on. But another nature-based solution could be like having a spill channel, which is a flood plains. So developing a flood plain and having a spill channel. In the international level, the London metropolitan has got the spill channel. In our country also, Srinagar has this spill channel. The Jhelum River, the spill channel is there for the Jhelum River to save the. So it is not that our country, we didn't have the precedence for that. So this is thought of. China, of course, has gone for the sponge city, but that is a limited use, it can work, solve the problem. Recent China flood has shown that it cannot be a big solution for that. But certainly the other two solutions can be a big thing. Next. There are many nature-based solutions I have just listed down, like conservation tilling, farm ponds, and other part, which are nature-based solutions which can be put to use. I think each topic can be discussed at length, but I don't want to go in depth of this thing. Probably sometimes, maybe with the realization, a focus seminar can be on this basis, where each such things can be taken up in more detail. Thank you.